You're listening to the Magnetic Boss Podcast. I'm your host, Calandra Martin, intuitive brand designer for spiritual entrepreneurs. The Magnetic Boss Podcast is where visionaries come together to openly share wisdom and authentic conversations. I know that you are ready to leave your legacy in the world and become sought out in your industry. I also know that you are sick and tired of getting overlooked. You're ready to have a magnetic business. I'm here to help you create your magnetic brand. It's my mission to help you show up confidently with a professional, irresistible online presence. If you're in this for the long game and all in on the big vision you have for your business, let's dive in. Welcome back to the Magnetic Boss Podcast. Today we are talking about vanity metrics. Those pesky numbers that you're probably spending way too much time focusing on and pouring your energy into. So I want to cover today what vanity metrics are and the truth and reality behind what these numbers mean for your business as an online entrepreneur. But before I dive into this episode, I want to share with you that vanity metrics are something that I personally spent a lot of time worrying about in the beginning of my business. And I came to realize through growing my business successfully without having flashy numbers that at the end of the day, these status quo measurements are really just a trap for you to be stuck in comparison. So if you're feeling like vanity metrics, and we're going to talk about what they are exactly in a minute, are holding you back, I just want to encourage you to really sit with that, allow that to be part of your process, and also recognize that your metrics are not necessarily going to be reflective of your success. So let's go right into what vanity metrics are. These are the numbers that are going to be forward-facing to the world that people are likely seeing. So a good example of this, and something we'll talk about a bit today, is your follower account on Instagram or Facebook on your business page. So these are numbers that people can see when they land on your profile. If you go to Instagram, you'll see that I hover between 1,200 to 1,300 followers, give or take. And these are the numbers that when you're first starting out in entrepreneurship, they seem really important, right? I need to have 10,000 followers, 100,000 followers so that people will take me seriously, right? These are some of the things that I know went through my head in the beginning. Some of these other vanity metrics might be how many likes you get on a post and really just seeing how quickly that post might perform. And although these can be good indications of the value that your content has, it is not going to be a make it or break it situation in your business, especially in the long term. So the second piece here that I want to mention is that these metrics, these numbers, are not going to be representative of the long-term health and sustainability of your business. So going back to my Instagram example, something that I was really stuck on for quite some time was the amount of followers that I had on Instagram. I've been in business for almost 4.5 years now, and growing the same Instagram account, although I have started other accounts before and I've changed my handle half a dozen times, but growing the same account, I found myself stuck in the first couple of years at around 600 followers. And I was so frustrated because I wanted to have at least 1,000 followers so that I could make people aware that I was an expert or make people aware that I was a big deal in the online space. And what we often forget about these metrics is that every single like, every single follower, these are human beings. Hopefully, most of the time, these are human beings. Now, of course, there are spam accounts out there. There are accounts that are run by robots. So that's something to take into consideration as well. If you are looking at somebody else's metrics, if you're going on Instagram and you find an account and you have this perception of somebody's brand that they are a big fucking deal, But then you go and you look at their followers and they're all those ambassador accounts, or they're not real accounts and you can tell that they're super spammy, then there is a telltale sign here that that person is more concerned about their vanity metrics than they are the connection that they're building with their audience. So you really want to be looking at your followers and the likes that you're getting on your content based on, is this my community? Am I building community with real people, or am I just getting flashy numbers for the sake of having those numbers? So really be looking at the why behind the metrics that you are trying to achieve. Same thing goes for your email list. Maybe you want to have 100,000 subscribers to your mailing list. That sounds great. But if only 10%, maybe even less than that, is opening your email when you send out a newsletter, then those numbers really don't mean anything. So really be thinking about, in your business, when it comes to your metrics, what are the numbers that matter? So what I realized over time was that the followers on my Instagram, most of them, when I had 600 or so followers, most of them weren't even real accounts, but I was so fixated on getting that to 1,000 followers minimum that I wasn't worried about what was actually happening, what the community growth was looking like. And so I had this revelation at one point where I just got sick of it. I got sick of trying to measure up to some other influencer or brand that I aspired to grow to be like. And I tossed it all out the window. I removed over 100 followers. I remember so clearly going through this cleanup on Instagram specifically, and I've done this on Facebook before as well, and just removing people because they either weren't my ideal client, or they were robots, or they were fake accounts that weren't actually helping with my engagement. So when you're looking at your metrics, you really want to be thinking about and paying attention to what the engagement is like and what the click-through rate is like on that piece of content. So whether it's your newsletter or it's your Instagram post, you want to see how many clicks are happening, what the conversion rate looks like, because that's going to be much more valuable information for you than if you were to just see how many likes you get on a post in the first hour of posting it. Now that's really fun, right? We love to get that little bit of a confidence boost when our content goes and reaches a bunch of people, but you really want to be thinking about the impact that that is having. Okay, so the first big point here is remember that the numbers that you are seeing are people on the other side of their screen, right? So you're putting content out there, you are sending out newsletters, you're posting on Instagram, whatever it might be. Think about the person on the other side. What is their perception? How are they feeling when they consume your content? That is going to be so much more powerful than just getting a bunch of likes because you want your content to be popular. So think about that community building aspect. And then the second piece here with the metrics is to understand what those metrics mean. What are they doing for your business in the long term? So again, be really paying attention to your conversion rates and the relationships that you are building. So conversion rates are great, right? We want people to be clicking through to your website. We want people to be following you. We want people to be signing up for your newsletter and then opening your email campaigns. But we also really want that personal relationship to be built. So paying attention to the longevity of somebody following you, making sure that you're actually engaging on their content or you're starting a conversation with them in a way that feels really genuine, because that is going to be building up your business so much not faster, but in a more sustainable way. So really be thinking about that longevity piece when it comes to relationship building. And then a couple of other things that I wanted to mention when it comes to vanity metrics and thinking about the comparison trap that a lot of us get stuck in from time to time. And I know I've done a ton of work around this myself, but I still find myself from time to time getting stuck in comparison or getting frustrated that I don't have more followers because I'm in almost year 5 of my business. But I want you to remember something. Anybody can buy followers. Literally anybody. Anybody could pay for flashy ads. But if you are in a stage of organic growth in your business, there will be a slow but steady, hopefully, if you're being very intentional, growth curve. So be thinking about that and reminding yourself of that when it comes to these vanity metrics, because becoming an overnight sensation or having something go viral is great, but it's not as beneficial to your business and your brand, your reputation in the long term, than it is for you to really be showing up consistently and building relationships. That is going to be so much more beneficial. So just be thinking about those things. I hope this episode was helpful for you. I could probably talk in circles all day long about vanity metrics because this is something that I see a lot of entrepreneurs getting hung up on. So what I encourage you to do is just recognize that, one, you are exactly where you need to be. Having more followers is not necessarily going to equal a higher success rate or more sales or more revenue in your business. And 2, just remember that those metrics don't necessarily correlate with the growth that you can have in your business. And relationships are always going to be the number one thing that is going to increase your sales. So if this episode was helpful, I would love for you to take a screenshot, tag me on Instagram at calandra.martin, and stay tuned, stick around, because we have more episodes rolling out that are really good, really value-packed, and I'm excited to share them with you. So until next time, I'm sending you so much love and a big thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe wherever you are listening so you never miss a beat. For episode show notes, visit calandramartin.com/podcast. Your iTunes reviews and your sharing of the show helps us reach more magnetic bosses just like you. Until next time.